Scrimmage 2, I think we got out of it relatively healthy. You know, um, I think we went for right at 100, just over 100 plays. Obviously, there were a number of those with our kind of younger players at the end, which is great work for them. I love that we got out in the heat today. I don't know that we won against the Heat all the time. I felt like, especially defensively in the second half, I just felt our run wall started to leak a little bit. Offense was able to get on schedule and sustain some drives. Um, that's why you scrimmage. That's why you practice. I'm glad that we weren't playing today. Um, I think our team needs some time here to recover from camp. They're going to get a couple days off to reset, get their legs back, and I'll be excited to get back to practice with them on Tuesday. Offensively, I just felt like in the first half of the scrimmage, we didn't execute at a level that put pressure on the defense. Defensively, we were imperfect, but we weren't able to make those mistakes, make the defense pay for those mistakes. We dropped balls, had operational issues, penalties. It's not our formula to win. Defensively, I felt like we had the right spirit to start the scrimmage. I think we got to clean up our execution. I got talked about in the second half, just the run wall got a little leaky. We got to look at that. I'm sure that's going to be pad level relative and maybe some of the fundamental technical fit part of it. But on the whole, we stacked a good day. We're going to learn from our mistakes, and we got 2 weeks to prepare to make sure that we finish 2 weeks from today feeling good about where we are.
Do you compare this week to last week at all? Obviously in film, or do you try to avoid that? And obviously you want to improve. But.
No, I think they're all data points. So you got to look at, you're looking at a line of progression. Now, I think you're also dealing with kind of the end of training camp, and we've pushed. I may have mentioned this. Our loads relative to last year have been on the average, anywhere from kind of 15 to 30% higher than they were a year ago. I think our response a year ago to some of the soft tissue issues we were seeing was to reduce the practice time, the training time. So we've played more football this camp, and I think the team is at a point right now where they're feeling the residual effect of that. So we'll look at the film and certainly look at it as it compares to where we were a week ago. But I think the most important thing is to come out of it and really have an idea as a coaching staff in the next 2 days, where we are in terms of our personnel, who are we focusing on to be in that top group, the top kind of, 24 guys on both sides of the ball, 25 guys that are going to factor into the game against Virginia Tech, and then inspire the other guys to fill their roles as best they can. To help us build a team we know we can build. So we'll compare it. Again, it's all a data point. You want to see progress. There are going to be some players that showed progress. There are going to be some areas that we need to address, maybe that we weren't as clean on. But it's all about how we take the information, how we let our bodies recover here, and then we apply it going forward.
It seems like, not just today, but in general, defense has gotten the better of the offense. How much of that you think is good defense versus bad offense?
Well, I don't always feel that way, and I think we don't look at the results of the practice, the results of each play, and measure it against our offense. So, there will be plays today that I'll look at with the defense and say, hey, this is a great job problem solving here, but we had an uncovered number 2. And we were getting off a block and making a play, and I love that's 50% what we play, 50% how we play it. And the times where we've been poor defensively is maybe the call was bad, which would be on me, and then we didn't have the fundamental technical problem-solving ability out there, or the communication, or one of those core anchors that define our defense to account for the mistake. As far as the offense goes, there's been plenty of practices where we look at our KPIs defensively every day. So what we've seen is effective play on third downs, and certainly third downs that tip towards defensive favor. I think you saw that in the scrimmage today. And why that happened was first and second down efficiency. And those are numbers for us that have been really poor against our offense. So they've been able to establish a run game. They've been able to get efficient first downs and set up second downs. And so there's a formula there that's about being interconnected, but being complementary. That our offensive system isn't set up to just take on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. That's not who we are. So we're going to look at the things that are keeping us in those situations, address those, and clean up the performance. That's long-winded, Robbie, but all in all, we don't. It's not a us versus them. It's us versus our highest level, and our highest level on both sides is about playing to our identity and about execution. And so again, I don't look at film with our defensive players and say, "Hey, great job winning your one-on-one against our offense." I want to put them in position to play and win that one-on-one against Virginia Tech, to win that one-on-one in our SEC schedule, and that's kind of what we're after. It's the highest possible level of execution, and that way we can, as a coach, you can never be satisfied, right? And that's what we like to do. So.
Do you feel you've seen enough out of the pass rush at this point in your camp?
Well, listen, we're going to have the ultimate test in game 1 with our rush lanes, and I think we have certainly improved in our winning of one-on-ones and even our understanding of the just collapse in the rush lanes and collapse in the pocket. But you're never going to be satisfied until you're out there playing and you see us play 4-on-5 in compressed pockets, or in the blitz game that we're getting on edges and we're shortening the down. I do see improvement, and that excites me. We will be tested week 1 at the highest possible level with our ability to keep the quarterback contained.
Coach, Glenn Seabrooks has gotten a lot of snaps, especially last week and this week. Is he a guy that you think will factor in on the interior this week?
I do. I mean, he's made a great impression. Here's a guy that's 330 plus pounds, who plays square, plays anchored. I mean, a lot of times in high school, you get away with certain aspects of play just because you're bigger than. Pad level's not great, so on and so forth. He's a guy that's adjusted and adapted to the college game well, and earned the right to find a role. I think we'll use the next 2 weeks to determine where that exactly is. But he's made a great impression. We're proud of him.
Are you guys still mixing and matching on the O-line, or have you settled on a first 5?
We'll come out of our evaluation as a staff of this scrimmage, and we'll aim on Monday to have some personnel meetings where we'll come out of that, I think, with kind of what we feel like is our starting 11 on both sides. And that'll just give us a chance to hone in and really refine our preparation with those guys. Obviously, in the O-line, we've in the past played a lot of people up front, and I think it's a matter of who Coach Klanakis feels like is ready to help us win. We want to give room for them to carve out roles. The running backs are all going to have a chance to have a role. The receivers, obviously, tight ends. Defensively, it's not just going to be 11 guys. You're going to look at probably 18 to 22 that are having meaningful snaps. We'll take the next couple of days to hone in on that, and then we don't play for another 2 weeks, so there's always opportunities for that to change.
I know you addressed it last week at the first scrimmage, but what do you think about the progression? I guess take your coaching hat off.
I don't know how to do that.
Helmet on.
Yeah.
Your construction helmet. What do you think about the progress over here?
It's really neat to see, and I mean I was reflecting today on just everything that we endured last season with respect to the Dust Bowl and the swinging scoreboard. And look, I want to credit obviously Candace and everyone. We know that sacrifice is a part of progress, and we're doing everything we can. But there were certain things about last season that were hard, independent of just coming out and playing the game. So to be in the environment and start to feel what it's going to feel like, I can't wait. Hopefully next week when we're here doing our bench control, they'll have the scoreboard fired up and the sound system. That'll be neat. And then, obviously the vision here on the south end, you can start to see it coming in play. But we're finally going to have an environment when this is all finished that I think will be unique. But also, I think it's going to be imposing, and it's about us putting a product on the field, and it's about a community getting inspired around us to fill this stadium with black shirts and to make it a hard place to play. And we can do that. But I have ownership in that in terms of getting this team where it needs to be. You know, when we play our first game with a fully finished stadium, that'll be a special moment. Obviously, we can stop and celebrate being part of the way, you know, in these moments where we get to be in here.
What's Fontenette bringing to your defense? It seems like he's both, you know, actually good at the position, but then probably also gives you guys some flexibility also.
Well, he's been a welcome addition. He has that guy loves football, first of all. So I've not ever seen him in a competitive moment back away, you know, the entire camp. You know, he's young. I mean, he's just turned 19. You know, he's in his second year. And so I look at him and I think, God, the potential here. I mean, I've had the good fortune of coaching some really good ones, and some of the best defensive players in the NFL right now were a part of our operation at Notre Dame. And Randon has skills and talent that enter that conversation, you know, but we're really early in. So he's got to continue to build a process and a foundation. But I'm so excited about the potential that he has, and I'm really, as a coach, you know, that's like, you love those challenges. Say, hey, here's someone who has all these great personality traits and great skills. How do I help him become a great pro? And yeah, he's been fun to work with.